Claire, how disappointing is it to have lost that 7-match winning streak in such a fashion? Because it's one you probably could have won.
Yeah, I think obviously you want to win every game of football you play, but I think we got some important lessons today, and we'll look back at the video and take that forward into the next game.
What were some of those lessons?
Yeah, I think first half we sort of rushed a little bit in the final third, and second half was a lot better. We created a lot of good chances, and it's just about being a bit more clinical in that. And yeah, just a few little things in our press we tried to work on.
Were you taken aback a bit by the aggressiveness of the Scots, that they really were in your face a lot, weren't they?
They were, but we were expecting that. Anytime you play Scotland, it's definitely a battle. They're very big on physicality, and they don't shy away from the big challenges. And probably a little bit in the first half, they got on top of us in that area, and we had a bit of trouble to wrestle that momentum back in our favour.
Can you speak a little to your developing partnership with Clare Hunt?
Yeah, look, Clare Hunt's come in, and she slotted right in, and she's a very mature player, and she's just taken everything in her stride, and it's really nice to see her doing well.
And you've had tournaments where you haven't had the depth in defence, but now you've got more options at fullback as well as centre back. Does that automatically make you sort of less anxious, or make you feel more comfortable in the situation, knowing that should someone get injured, there is someone to take their place, and it's not sort of square peg in a round hole again?
Yeah, we've spoken a lot about it's going to take the whole squad to take us through the World Cup, and every player is going to be extremely important in our journey, and I think the more competition we have for spots, and the higher quality of players that we can have fit and healthy, then it's going to bode well for us in the World Cup.
One of the players in that defence there, Ellie Carpenter, has not played for the Matildas in a year because of injury. What was it like to kind of see her come back and have her in that defence alongside you again, because she is such an asset? Yeah,
she brings a lot of energy and confidence to our team and to our back line. She's a very aggressive player, loves to get forward, and she's really hard to handle. So really nice to see her back, and to have her back in camp and our environment is, it's a big boost for us.
Final two questions for Claire.
What do you take from this game, given that, ahead of playing the Lionesses, because they play a very similar game to Scotland? So what are you going to take from this loss today?
Yeah, look, they do play very similar, so I think it's a good test run for us, and we can go back and watch the video and see where we need to improve and things to tighten up going into the Lionesses game, because it's going to be a big challenge for us, and I know everyone's really looking forward to it.
Final question.
How difficult will it be? You have played World Cup finals abroad. How will it be to play it now at home? Is that an extra pressure, or is it just an advantage to play at home?
Yeah, I think obviously it's there's a lot of expectation and pressure, but I think if we can use it to our advantage, then it's going to be good for us, and to play at home. We love playing at home in front of our fans, and if they can give us that extra little boost, then we'll take it.
Fantastic. Thanks very much, Claire.
Thank you.
Okay, questions for Tony Gustavsson.
So Tony, a bit of experimentation today. Are you still in your head working out the final squad for the World Cup?
Yeah, spot on. We had actually a different approach going into this camp, where we said finally we can get some consistency and coherency and work on relationships, and getting Ellie back in the back line at the same time as Steph, and that, Sam and Caitlin's relationship up top, they've been firing, and we said, okay, this is an opportunity now to really get some of the final pieces in place in two extremely tough, challenging games here in England, against Scotland and England. But then with the circumstances coming in, we're missing 500 caps in terms of injuries even before the camp starts. And then as you saw today, there's a lot of players who were unavailable or limited minutes. Of course, that's a challenge. But then we changed the approach and said, well, if one door closes, another one open. And what open now is the possibility for us to look at different individuals in terms of the roster of 23 players and see where do we have the depth and where do they sit in that. And it was a great opportunity for some of the players to get minutes today. And we learned a lot about both individuals, but also about ourselves, like Claire said here, in terms of our game style and how we can play and want to play.
Was there a temptation to bring Sam on in the, I don't know, for 20 minutes just to see if you could pull this one out of the fire?
Of course, I have to admit that. Of course it is. You know, it's itching in me and itching in Sam. But we had agreed on a long talk last night that the best thing for her was to rest this one. She's coming from an extremely tough game environment in club with back-to-back games every week for almost 2 months. So it's about the bigger picture. And if it was me 15 years ago as a coach, young, inexperienced, and think the short-term result is what matters, I probably would have played her and risked the effect of the big picture. But now with a little bit more experience and sitting with a little bit of ease and calm and understand it's a bigger picture. Doesn't mean I don't want to win, but I don't want to win on the expense of sacrificing key players' risk and health.
How do you view her availability now for the England game?
If I'm guessing today, I'm guessing she will be available, but that's just speculations. I need to talk to the SSM team, meaning Sport Science and Sport Medicine, and Sam herself, and see where she's at come Tuesday. But I know she would love to play.
She doesn't have an injury problem or anything?
I can't comment on that, so I'll keep that close to my chest as of now. It's up to, I pass on that one.
What did you make of your forwards that did play today? How did you feel they performed today?
I think when it comes to the, Clare said it a little bit, we worked a lot on our pressing game because we know both Scotland and England are really good in the ball movement and moving the ball and really want to play. And if you're a little bit too stretched, a little bit off in your pressing game, they can play right through you. And also with some world-class midfielders in there. I think the forwards did a tremendous job on the defensive side of the ball, worked really hard. I think on the attacking side of the ball, we struggled to activate them good enough. Scotland's aggressive one-on-one duels made it difficult for us to break that press and activate them. The first 20 to 25 minutes in the second half, we show how we want to play and who we are when we play the way we want to play. And then both forwards were involved as well. Kramer, unfortunately, the goalkeeper, made a phenomenal save in that one we won. Mary Fowler was involved a lot in that second half. So I think Mary showed that she has improved her tempo of play, her aggressive mindset in pressing, but more so she's improved her off-ball movement so she can get on the ball more often. Because I think all in this room know how good Mary Fowler is on the ball. It's her off-ball movement that she has improved, and I think she was one of the better players in the second half tonight, or today I should say.
Johnny, can I ask you about the journey that you've been on with this team, because you've kind of been up with the Olympics, then down a little bit, now kind of coming back up again. How do you feel this team is kind of settling into the identity that you want them to have, and just how you feel going into the World Cup with the ideas that you've implemented?
Well, I agree. All journeys with a team is a little bit of a roller coaster. It's never a straight line where everything is perfect. You're seldom as good as you are you're seldom as good as people say you are when you win, and you're seldom as bad as people say you are when you lose. You're somewhere in between. But as a coach, you're never better than your last game. So right now, I'm probably a shit coach. Sorry, maybe I shouldn't use that word. What's interesting with this team is, and I want to be clear on this is not my identity and my team that I try to implement things. There's a clear identity in this team and decades back, even before this generation of player. This is a team that is in-your-face kind of team, like never take a step back, press aggressively, want to attack, want to go forward, want to score a lot of goals. If you look at the goal average over the last 2 years, I think we have a goal average of 4 goals per game. Not that we've scored everyone, but there's a high scoring goal games when we play. It's just who this team is. What I try to do is get to learn the players and get the best out of them. And I've always said, in trying to copy the best coaches out there, like if you're a national team coach, it's about getting the right player in the right position with the right mindset. That's the number one thing, because most of the development happens in clubs. You borrow them from the clubs in for 9 days in the FIFA window. You just need to get maximum out of play by getting to know them. And I think these 2 years I've learned a lot about the players. And I think one of the reasons we have that progression is that I've learned more how to use them and build off the identity they already have.
Final question.
The success of the Lionesses over the past 12 months here has been pretty phenomenal, and it's elevated them into a pretty rare place in sort of the public psyche here. They're probably, if not one of, then the most loved sporting team here at the moment. Are you conscious about the opportunity that lies ahead of the Matildas this year with the Home World Cup and what it can do for the sport in Australia if you're sort of successful?
Well, first of all, I love this question because you're asking the why behind this team's journey right now. Everything they talked about, if you heard Sam Kerr in the press conference going into this game as well, everything the players talk about is their why. And the why is so much bigger than football. It's much bigger than 90-minute football, and it's exactly what you talk about now. They want to inspire a nation. They want to make sure they get more resources, get the respect and love. They already are respected and loved, but they want to also have more resources and build not just women's football, but the women's game in Australia. And this is a huge, massive opportunity that they can do that, and they want to carry that nation and be proud. And the way to be proud is to represent in a good way on and off the field, and I think these players do that. Every time they step on the field, I said that tonight as well, they give it 100. We didn't lose tonight because a player was lazy and not give it 100. They always leave everything out there, and that's a part of the identity of this team.